morning and welcome back to Wavra Farms. We're standing here kind of in the front yard, and as you can see, some of the perennials are looking a little tired. Obviously, my containers are looking tired, and it's time to start changing some of these out. So I love the look of containers, and especially the urns, but they're a pain to dig this stuff out. Then you have to worry about moving them and dumping them. So I kind of tend to cheat the system. So my trick is I save other nursery pots when I buy things, and I have a stack. I go around and I try putting them in the different containers that I have. So this one here has actually a proven winner container because that's what fit in this pot. So I'm going to pop this out, and then I will compost this, and then I will save this pot for next year. I will not throw this pot away, but I will compost what's inside it. So then in the meantime, I have another pot. Like I said, I save pots. It just really helps the system. So in this pot, I'm going to plant a bunch of daffodils. So then in the spring, you're going to see a bunch of lovely daffodils popping up, and they're going to be in whites. So I've got some of my organic potting soil in the bottom of this pot, and Andrew can come a little closer and you can see. And so I'm just going to put in some of our bulb tone so we have some nice healthy bulbs. And then I have our daffodil bulbs in here, and I'm just going to start sticking them in. They're nice, big, healthy bulbs. And like I said, this variety is called Sir Winston Churchill. So they're going to be a really pretty white. They're going to bloom about mid-season. And so those will be really nice. So I am going to pack them in here really tight because I want a lot of color. And so then I know that I can divide these then for next year if I choose to. But since these are just going to be in this pot and nothing else is going to be in here, I'm going to put these pretty much pot to pot. And so I do have this a little lower inside here. I'm going to cover them about 6 inches with some dirt. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I've got about 12 bulbs. Not a huge number, but should give us some nice color this year. Okay, I managed to fit 13 in. That way I used half the bag on those, and then I'll have the other half to put in another pot. Then what I'm simply going to do is I am just going to fill the top of this pot, put some dirt in there, and get it packed down in. I am going to leave a little bit of a buffer at the top for water. Now, I could easily go through and put some white pansies in this, or pansies of other colors, and I very well may choose to do so. At this time, I just want to talk about planting bulbs. So I'm going to take this pot and I'm going to stick it in here, just like that. When that pot is done, then it's going to go with my other pots with the bulbs in it, and it will sit till next year. So I could leave this like this, or I could easily take and put a pansy basket in it, something like that. I could bury something like that down in there, but that would be the look if I put pansies in there. So that would get me through until the bulbs were blooming. So back to the idea of just swapping containers out. If Andrew follows me along here, whoops, and we come over to an existing container that I have, I will show you what I'm talking about. So if we walk over here, this is a container that I had for the summertime. So in here I have a hydrangea called Fairy Trail Bride. It doesn't bloom its first year, so it should bloom next year. And so next year I probably will not plant the petunias in it. However, I really don't want to look at dead twiggy things all winter, especially when it's on a sidewalk. So I will go through and I will take out the container that I have in here. This will get put in a spot in my yard that will get watered with my deck pots. This is a pot that I had last year. This is what went in here. So I'm just swapping my pot out from last year to this year's. So you can see my bulbs are already in here from last year. So I do have some bulbs in there. And these just stayed. In fact, this one here, there's some nice little growth already starting because we've had so much rain. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a little bit of fertilizer on top and feed those bulbs. And then I'm going to continue to fill it up with some pine soil. And same thing. For Christmas, I can stick some branches in it. For spring, I can put some pansies on top and really get some nice color going in an urn. But for now, it's just nice to have something that's cleaned up. As you can see, I will leave this down a little bit in case I do decide to come back and put a few other things in it. Then I'll have room for excess. Those bulbs are low enough, especially since this is going to be daffodils, and it has some little muscardines in it, I believe. They're low enough that I can still plant on top and not damage anything. So there's my second plant or pot of bulbs. Now, same thing if we check out another urn that I have. As you can see, same thing. This urn is finished. He just gets popped out. He's got a container that I found that fits. That will get composted in the spring. I can plant it with some petunias for when the bulbs are done. This is my pot of bulbs from last year. I'm just going to stick that in. I'll put a little bit of bulb fertilizer on top. And kind of work that in a little bit. And then, like I said, to get me through November, December, I will cut some branches, some tree limbs, and just stick different branches in, or maybe stick some holly in, just to have a little something out here so it's not quite so empty for the winter season. Again, you too can do easy bulb planting, quick and easy, pop-ins and pop-outs. As easy as 1, 2, 3. Thanks so much for watching, and happy gardening.